Is the Cooper Flagg hype too big? Is it getting too big? Is it already crossed that line? Is it too over the top? Is it possible for him to live up to it? Well, I have some ways to illustrate how high the hype has gotten. He is an AP. We're going to work on this again.
Okay.
He is an AP, which stands for Associated Press. AT would be an athletic trainer, which makes even less sense. Let's start over. The hype for Cooper Flagg goes like this. He is an AP first-team All-American as a true freshman. The other 5 members of that list, fifth-year seniors. ESPN put out a list of top 100 players in college basketball, all across the country, every conference, every state, everywhere. He's number 1. CBS put out a list of top 100 players, all across the country, every state, every conference, everyone. He was number 3. 24/7 Sports, or 247 Sports, however you want to say that, which is a recruiting website. They track football, basketball, recruiting, all sports. It's a big high school thing. It's where you get composite stars. So if somebody's like a 5-star composite, that's 247's the place where you go find that information. He has Cooper Flagg down, or they have Cooper Flagg down, as the number 1 all-time Duke recruit. Higher than Zion, higher than R.J. Barrett, higher than... you can go back as far as you want. The Leitners, the Jay Wills, the Kyrie Irvings, all of them. Number 1. I tried to find if they have him as the highest recruit ever. The only thing I could find was a list from a couple years ago that had like the highest recruits of all time, and number 2 was R.J. Barrett. Number 1 was Andrew Wiggins. We know from the Duke list that they put out that Cooper Flagg is above R.J. Barrett. So there's only one possible recruit that could be ranked higher in their composite system, and that's Andrew Wiggins. And he might be above him. We don't know the order. He's 1 or 2 all time, according to 247 Sports. Now, granted, it doesn't go back to like Wilt Chamberlain, so Kareem Abdul-Jabbar may have been a higher ranked recruit, but you get the picture. He has a New Balance deal, shoe deal. New Balance is kind of making him one of the faces of New Balance, along with Kawhi Leonard. He is the first male college basketball player to sign a name, image, and likeness deal with Gatorade. Getting that Gatorade deal used to be a sign you made it. When you had that first commercial where you were sweating out like lime green sweat, that meant you arrived.
Orange just dripping off your chin.
It meant you happened. You want to be like Mike. It was a Michael Jordan thing, and it existed.
Oh yeah, that's a big deal.
He's number 1 on every NBA draft big board that I can find. The hype, it's full steam ahead. That's not the question, though. We knew there's hype. The question is it getting too big? And here's why I ask it. Jonathan Givney, ESPN NBA draft guy, ESPN college basketball analyst. I was listening to a podcast, and I wrote down a comment he made. He gave some hype to Cooper, like everybody does. Oh, he's good. He's this. He's that. He's awesome. He's tall. He can shoot. Blah, blah, blah. And then he hit this. This is a direct quote. At the same time, a 17-year-old does not dominate college basketball in this era. He isn't even eligible to vote in next week's presidential elections. You have to go all the way back to 1989 to Shaquille O'Neal to find a 17-year-old who dominated college basketball. End quote. I raised my eyebrows a little bit because Cooper Flagg, he did reclassify up, so he is 17 years old. Matter of fact, his twin brother, Ace Flagg, who's playing in Greensboro this year for his last year of high school, just committed to Maine for next year's college basketball class.
Ironically, Duke opens against Maine.
And they're both from Maine, so yeah. I think all of that is not a coincidence. But my point is, like, if he was with his twin brother, he wouldn't even be in college yet. So he is younger. He is 17. So where do you stand? Can a 17-year-old dominate college basketball in this era, which, by the way, you could argue would be more impressive than even Shaq? Because Shaq wasn't going up against guys with 5th years of eligibility because of COVID. R.J. Davis, in Shaq's era, is playing pro somewhere. He's not still in college, as is Hunter Dickinson, as is everyone else named to the AP first-team All-American preseason list with Cooper. It comes down to one thing. Do you believe Cooper is truly an alien? And that's not an insult. Alien is the highest form of flattery. It is my highest compliment that I give to athletes.
Some might use unicorn.
Unicorn, but to me, unicorn is unusual. Like you can be, unicorn is like you see him once in a lifetime, right? It's you're taller and you can shoot or something. You do something unique. I think Kobe Bryant was an alien. Kobe Bryant didn't do anything like physically that like Michael Jordan couldn't do. It's just he was an alien in different ways. Unicorn to me is more of like a Giannis or a Wembanyama, right? Somebody who's like, I've never seen anything like that. Alien is for me, again, these are my definitions. You can have your own, but alien to me is just the highest level of unbelievable. And you can go across sports, right? Adrian Peterson, Calvin Johnson in football, Randy Moss in football, aliens. You look at the NBA, obviously the LeBrons, the Michaels, the Kobes, but I would throw in the like a Tim Duncan as an alien, right? That's what it comes down to. Because aliens, the reason why I think it's the highest form of flattery, the best compliment, you don't compare them to mere mortals. It's you have all of the stats that are, hey, we've judged 1,000 trillion million 17-year-olds in college basketball, and none of them have dominated college basketball the way everyone's saying Cooper Flagg will. And I'm going, well, everyone else in that sample size, aside from maybe Shaq, is not an alien. They're human. So you have to decide whether you have Cooper Flagg as an alien. Think about it like running backs going on right now. If you watched the off-season Hard Knocks with the Giants, there was a conversation with Joe Shane, their GM, where he talked about all of the numbers that back up running backs falling off a production cliff at age 27 or 28. Running backs, and this was obviously with the Saquon decision. Do they bring him back? Do they let him go in free agency? All that. And he had all these numbers, right? All the stats, all the advanced analytics say running backs at 27 or 28, they fall off. How do you explain Derrick Henry? Derrick Henry's got to be in his 30s, right? He's definitely older than 27, 28. He's going to run for 2,000 yards this year. At least he's on pace for it. It's not smart to compare Derrick Henry to, let me pick one, like Dalvin Cook.
Derrick Henry turns 31 in January, by the way.
Turns 31. And he's looking unbelievable. He's got 80-yard runs. He's outrunning people. The GPS numbers say he has some of the fastest times of his career from a miles per hour standpoint this season. You're really going to move on from Derrick Henry because you watched like DeMarco Murray fall off a cliff? They're not even the same species. One's an alien, one's a human. 17-year-olds that are human don't dominate at the highest level of college basketball. Unless you're an alien like Shaq.
By the way, Cooper Flagg turns 18 in December, like early December.
So you'll get a couple months in of this 17-year-old argument.
6 weeks.
And like Carmelo Anthony was 18. Kevin Durant was 18 during their freshman years. Do you really think them showing up 8 months earlier would have been like, never mind, not great? Right? If they would have, if their season started a few months earlier, we wouldn't know who Carmelo Anthony and Syracuse are. No, of course we would.
If LeBron had to go to college, he would have reclassified and went a year early probably and would have dominated at 17.
I would have been there as an 8th grader if they thought it was possible.
Well, yeah.
I think Cooper Flagg is an alien. I don't think the hype's too big. Does that put me on a limb? Does that expose me to a couple like outtakes exposed on Twitter, some cold takes exposed? Maybe. I think he's an alien. And that's and part of it is you have to trust the people that have played with him. Do you know what's a really, really good idea when it comes to believing the hype of a player or not? It's like a number, okay? How many people claim to be the one that discovered him? If there are like 47 different people that are saying, I called up Duke and told them they had to look at Cooper Flagg, then it's like, this one must be good. They all want that credit. I was listening to a podcast the other day. I don't know if it's true or not, but you remember, I'm blanking on Scalabrine. Brian Scalabrine, some call him the White Mamba, longtime NBA bench player, champion with the Celtics, I believe. He was talking to Julian Edelman on a podcast, and he told the whole story of how he was running a camp in New England and team in New England, and one of his buddies said, we got this 14-year-old that's absolutely whipping up on college kids up in Maine, and he went, no way, bring him down. Brought him down, and Cooper Flagg, first play against these 17s and 18s and 19-year-old guys that Scalabrini was coaching. First play, Cooper Flagg off the backboard from the right side, catches it with his left hand, dunks it, and the entire team is like, uh-oh. And then guess how the story ends? Scalabrini calling both Duke and USA basketball to say, you got to check out this Cooper Flagg guy, and them saying, yeah, the kid from Maine, maybe one day. Again, I don't know if it's true or not, but it feels like the 13th time, 14th, 15th time I've heard someone say they discovered Cooper Flagg. That's a good sign. I'm with it. I think he's an alien. I don't think the hype is too much. I don't think the hype is too much at all.